So we're gonna play Final Fantasy XIV. Let's get through character creation. As you can see, there are a lot of races. We do not have female Hrothgar, so we only have the male ones. We have both Viera. We've got the Ora, Rodagan, Mitoke, Lalafell, Elizan, and Higher. I think presently at the moment, the ones that have the highest form of like the most extreme form of sexual dimorphism is the Ora. Because like the males can be ridiculously tall, I think up almost 7 foot, while the female ones can only be made up to 5'8". We're gonna make an Elizan today. Let's see, Wildwood, Duskwhite. Let's go Duskwhite. Make them tall as we can. So that's 71 inches. Let's see. Make that one. Skin tone. These are more shaders than actually picking skin tones, but I always like to bring them out here and have the sun face them so that you can actually see better. But that's why everything kind of has a bluer undertone. Like they have, you can get better down here, but they're all just a little off. I will say that their colors kind of annoy me. I think they should have just a slider with the hue and value and shade so that you can have a wider range. Because sometimes you want stats and you can't really get them. But we are going to try to make our avatar as close as we can anyway. Hairstyles. Got quite a bit here. I like to do hair color first so that we can see how it's going to interact with it. Main color, and then their greens are not great. I think that's probably as close as we're going to get. You see, like, in some of these, it's barely noticeable, and other ones, like this, how it's a cool meld. This one has more color. So let's find. That's pretty too. This, obviously barely noticeable. That is going to be what we end up going with. Jaw. I think we're good enough already there. Eye shape. That's the one. But let's look through all of these. Yeah, I'll go with this one. Iris size. I always go for large. Like the small ones are okay, but I'm a sucker for eyes. I like to see big color. Let's see. I'm gonna take this one to this teal here. This one here. Eyebrows. Those are. I know I'm always making the Henri face. Yeah, let's go with those. No. Matters. There's not a lot of like definition to everything, so lip color. When I made mine, I was going for this, but V-Roid, unless you paint it and stuff, it's not super visible. But we will go for that here since we can. Ear shape. Let's go for straight up pointy. Ear size, we're gonna make him bigger. Of course. Facial features. I do love these little ear cups. They're cute. Tattoos. We don't need any. Face paint. I mean, I think this we could probably pass off as a little bit of blush. Let me find a good tone. Yeah. It's like I could do what I get the little heart and the stars, but you can't have both at the same time, so I'm just gonna go with blush. We're doing pretty good here. And then voice. I'm actually not too picky about this. So I'll go with that one. So I definitely recommend going through this because, like, see here, she looks a little paler than what I wanted. But here, she looks a little closer to what I wanted. So it's just good to see how your character's gonna look in all the different lighting in the game. Because, like, if you're just making it here, everything is blue. And so you're not gonna get that true tone. So I'm gonna go back up. Skin color, bumper, 1 over. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Confirm. Don't need to save it. Let's go with my favorite number. So that's going to be 3-3. And then we have the gods here. And so let's see, we have Helone, which is mover of glaciers and goddess of war, is the guardian deity of Ishgard. She commands the element of ice and is associated with the first moon of the Eorzean calendar. Helone is the daughter of Ralgor, a bitter rival of Nafika, She is most often depicted as a relentless warrioress, armed with a bronze great shield. Her symbol is the 3 spheres. Then you have Menfina. These are all flavor, by the way. I think they have really cool lore, though. Menfina is the keeper of the moon and the goddess of love. She commands the element of ice and is associated with the second moon of the Eorzean calendar. Menfina is the sister of Azima and is the divine lover of Oshan. She is most often depicted as a maid carrying a brown skillet, and her symbol is the full moon. We have Thaliak, ruler of rivers and wisdom and god of knowledge. He is the guardian of Sharlayan. He commands the element of water and is associated with the third moon of the Eorzean calendar. Thaliak is the father of Limlayan and the teacher of Byragot. I am probably butchering some of these. He is most often depicted as a reserved scholar holding an ashen staff, and his symbol is the scroll. We have Naimea. Naimea is the watcher of celestial bodies and goddess of fate. She commands the element of water and is associated with the fourth moon of the Eorzean calendar. Naimea is the younger sister of Althic and master of Ralgor. She is most often depicted as a weaver, donning a white silken veil. Her symbol is the spinning wheel. Limlayan is the watcher of the seas and goddess of navigation, is the guardian deity of Limsa Lomensa. She commands the element of wind and is associated with the fifth moon of the Eorzean calendar. Limlayan is the daughter of Thaliak and the elder sister of Nafika. She is most often depicted as a strong fisherwoman wielding a long-bladed harpoon. Her symbol is the wave. We have Oshan, the ruler of mountains and god of travelers and vagrants. He commands the element of wind and is associated with the sixth moon of the Eorzean calendar. Oshan is the brother of Nadthal and is the close companion of Helone. He is most often depicted as a carefree ranger wielding a bow of yew. His symbol is the walking stick. Byragot is the purveyor of architecture and industry and god of the arts. He commands the element of lightning and is associated with the 7th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Beauregard is the elder brother of Helone and pupil of Thaliak. He is most often depicted as an ardent smith with a two-headed hammer. His symbol is the hand. Ralgar, Breaker of Worlds, is the god of destruction and guardian deity of the now fallen nation of Alamigo. He commands the element of lightning and is associated with the 8th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Ralgar is the father of both Beauregard and Helone, and serves as attendant to Nemea. He is most often depicted as a magus carrying a staff of bronze. His symbol is the streaking meteor. Azima is the keeper of the sun and goddess of inquiry. She commands the element of fire and is associated with the 9th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Azima is the daughter of Althic and the elder sister of Menfina. She's most often depicted as a noble lady holding a golden fan. Her symbol is the radiant sun. Nodthal, overseer of the underworld and god of commerce, is the guardian deity of Ul'dah. He commands the element of fire and is associated with the 10th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Nodthal is the single manifestation of the Defic twins Nald and Thal. He is most often depicted as a discerning merchant holding a balance. His symbol is the cowrie, an ancient shell currency. Nafika, tender soils and harvest and goddess of abundance, is the guardian deity of Gridania. She commands the element of earth and is associated with the 11th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Nafika is the daughter of Azima and the younger sister of Limlaen. She is most often depicted as a jubilant farmer holding a scythe of steel. Her symbol is the spring leaf. And last we have Althic, the purveyor of change and space and god of time. He commands the element of earth and is associated with the 12th moon of the Eorzean calendar. Althic is the father of Azima and Menfina, and elder brother to Nemea. He is often depicted as an austere emperor wielding a mithril great axe. His symbol is the hourglass. So, this does say that this selection has no effect on gameplay, but it doesn't really. There's like a small Easter egg, and that's all I'll say about that. But there's a small Easter egg depending on what you pick, and you don't really run into it until pretty much current in-game. So, and that is current as of Endwalker in-game is where this is relevant. So, let's see here. Who do we want? We are going to take Ashan. Now for class. So, what class you pick will decide, like, where you start as your guardian city. So, like, Gladiator, you go to Ul'dah. Gladiators eventually become Paladin. Pugilist is also Ul'dah. Pugilists also later become Monk. Marauders later become Warriors, starting in Limsa Lumensa. Lancers begin in Gridania. They become Dragoons. Archers become Bards, also Gridania. Then you have the magic classes. Conjurer is one that starts in Gridania. Thaumaturge starts in Ul'dah. Conjurer becomes White Mage, which is a healer. Thaumaturge becomes a Black Mage, which is definitely not a healer. Very big damage class. Little bit of a very sticky rotation. It's pretty picky. But my favorite class and what I'm going to pick here. And then you have Arcanist. The interesting thing about Arcanist is that when you play one, you are leveling two classes at once. They can become Scholars or Summoners. Scholars are healer and Summoners are DPS. But when you level it, you level both at the same time. So, we're gonna go Thaumaturge. So, we have our starting world here. We're gonna start in Marla. Name ourselves Full Elven. There we go. And we have done character creation. They let you check all of this to make sure that this is what you wanted. And then you can hop into a new game. So let's do that, and we will watch through the intro today. I'm gonna mute my mic so that way you all can hear it. Of course, World Queue is currently full. This generally does not take long. If any of you ever played World of Warcraft back in like vanilla and BC, where it was like some nights you just logged into queue and prayed and just walked away from your computer, you generally don't have to deal with this. I can't speak to the new X-Pack coming out, though. There was a great WoW exodus around the time that Endwalker came out, and it was a little wild. There was some pretty long queues, 3,000 or so people. It was pretty new, so.
Here. Here. Feel.
You. That's opening scene is pretty wild, though. I really like that you basically see like what your class gear looks like. So as you saw for mine, that was Black Mage. Definitely hat and covering one eye oftentimes. Y'all right, lads? You were moaning something fierce for a while there. Feeling the efforts of the Aether, I reckon. You'll get used to it though. Don't worry. There. Halt. What's this all about? Inspection. Men search the carriage. I'm just an honest peddler, friend, so don't be too disappointed if you don't find nothing, eh? Mind your tongue, old man, lest I cut it out. Sir, Somnus. Honest peddler, was it? Since when do honest peddlers deal in prohibitive herbs? You're in a lot of trouble, old man. You'll rot in a dungeon till the end of your days, unless you can afford the fine. Business as usual. Amalja, Amalja, to arms, to arms! Seven hells, consider this a warning. Now go, all of you. Brett's blades are kind of, they're pretty rough. They're not, think of the Brett's blades are kind of like, in Baldur's Gate, the Flaming Fists, when, Ulgar Ravengard is not around. That kind of excitement ain't good for the heart. You be careful around them brass blades, lass. Bastards will have the shirt off your back if they fancy it. Like common bandits they are, only less honest. Thank the gods for sending some beastmen to the rescue, eh? Hey, seeing as we've got a long ride ahead, you mind keeping me company till we arrive? Them youngins don't care much for conversation, see? Brent's the name, and peddlin's my trade. And judging by your unusual garments, I'll wager you're one of them new adventurers. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory, now that's what I call living. As long as you can avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business. These days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? You can pick any of these, and it doesn't really change any outcomes. It's entirely flavor. What would I say? I'm just gonna keep quiet about it. Unsure. Well, if you ain't inclined to tell, I ain't about to pry. Might be as old Brent's a chatterbox, but he sure as hell's ain't no busybody. This man is a triplet, by the way. We all have a secret or three, don't we? Me? Dozens. And I'd rather they stayed secret too, which is why I don't go sticking me nose where it ain't belong. Just remember, though, there are more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. By the way, is this your first trip to Ul'dah? For the sake of this, we'll say yes. It is? Well then, let this journeyed itinerant tell you its ins and outs of your destination. Ul'dah's ruled by a sultana in name, but as most folk know, the Syndicate holds the real power. Them and their monetarist cronies would happily get rid of Her Grace altogether, but that won't happen while she still commands the loyalty of the Royalists, and the Royalists are nothing if not loyal. These factions have long fought over power, throwing the weight of their wealth against each other, and they show no sign of stopping. Of course, the Lizardmen, that's the Amalja, could care less about Ul'dah politics. They have their own interests, see, and they ain't afraid to use force to serve them. They say war is a gift to peddlers, need breed and profit, and though it shames me to say it, I'm inclined to agree. Ah, at long last, behold, Ul'dah, jewel of Thanalan, where folk turn sand into gold.
Deep in the sun-baked south, surrounded by the shifting sands of an endless desert, she rises. A solitary rose amidst the dust and rock, a symbol of defiance. Her name, Ul'dah. Even with the coming of the seventh umbral era, hope springs eternal for the mongers and merchants who vie for lost fortunes in this bustling oasis. As the twin faces of Nold Thal maintain their vigil over all that has been and shall be, the present proffers a brave soul. One whose arrival could mark the beginning of a new era of prosperity for the realm.
And here's where we part ways, lass. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, then it's on to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks of putting up with me prattle. You never did tell me your name, though. Hey, but here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
May the traders nurture our fortunes as they kindle the flames which burn within us all. For by fire are we reborn.
And here you go, here we are. Hold on. Boy, adventurer, over here. I mean you. Fresh off the carriage by any chance? Eh? How can I tell? Heh. Name's Wymond, and my business is knowing every bugger's business. Now then, if I was to offer you some invaluable advice by way of welcome to our fair city, free of charge, even just once. Wow, just this once, like. His speech pattern is a lot for me. But that is where we're going to end this. We have gotten into the city. We've gone through the intro and character creation. When we come back, we will start with opening quests. And, of course, choose our basic keyboard stuff. Thanks all. See you later.